Alright, in this video we're going to be working on Microsoft Access, which is also called a database package. Okay, the paper we'll be working on is October-November 2014, question paper 2 as well. Alright, so let's turn to question 27. It says, using a suitable database package, import the file n14 input.csv. Now, when it says database package, it means Microsoft Access, okay? It's not Excel. Access is the red one, not the green one, okay? So let's click on that. And I'm going to create a blank database. Okay, now when you click on this, it will ask you where to save it. Alright, now please don't just click create here because it's going to be saved in your documents folder. Now please navigate to your student drive and save it there. For me, I'm just going to save it on the desktop because I do not have a student drive. Okay, and click create. Now it asks you to import the file n14 input.csv. Now if you look at the file here, n14 input, you will notice that it actually has an Excel icon on it. Now this does not mean that it is an Excel file, like I've told you guys 1,000 times already, okay? A CSV file is actually a text file, and it is separated by commas. That's why it's called a CSV, comma separated values. Okay, so if you want to import a CSV file, you need to go to external data because you are getting data from outside. Under import and link, select text file. Please do not select the Excel file because you're not going to find it. Okay, click on text file, browse. For you guys, please browse to the correct folder in your student drive. For me, it's on the desktop. Alright, and select n14 input. And I'm just going to click OK. And select delimited. Alright, it's the default selection is delimited already. Please do not change this because it's a CSV file and it says characters such as comma or tab separate each field, which is correct. So let's click next, and then click first row contains field names. Okay, because as you can see, the first row are actually the field names and they are not part of the data. Right, I'm going to click next and then click on advanced. This is where I define the data type. Okay, make short text, just yeah, short text is fine. Okay, buttons numeric, so I'm going to change this to integer. Alright, it means a whole number. Programmable, boolean or logical. So programmable, I'm going to switch it to yes no. Gaming, switch it to yes no as well. Cost price is currency. Okay, stock is numeric, which is integer as well. Scroll down. Okay, now you don't see min stock appear on question 27 because it says the min stock field is not required. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click skip. Okay, it means that the min stock field will not be imported. Reorder, numeric, I'm just going to change it to integer. Notes, text or memo. Alright, I'm going to select long text. Alright, click OK. Click next. It says you may add another field as a primary key field if your software requires this. So I'm just going to say let access add primary key. Next, and then finish. Okay, so if you open your table, you will notice that all the data has been imported successfully. Now it says place a screenshot evidence of the field names and data type used in your evidence document. So what you need to do, this contains your field names, but it does not contain your data type. So you need to right click and go to your design view. Okay, so this contains your field names as well as the data type. So I'm going to do a screen capture with this. For you guys, it's print screen on your keyboard. Right, open your evidence document and paste it in. Okay. Now 29, insert the following two records, cyborg and all that. So double click on your table, or you can switch the view here to datasheet view. This is the same thing. Now you need to go to the end of the report. Can you see new blank record here? Click on it and start entering the data. Alright, I'm not going to enter because I'm lazy. Right, moving on to question 31. It says produce a report which contains a new field called item underscore value, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the cost underscore price multiplied by the reorder field. Now, before creating a report, you need to create a query. Now, what is a query? A query is something that performs filtering, that performs calculation, before the data is ready for a report. Okay, so if it asks you to produce a report, or it asks you to produce an extract, or it asks you to produce a label, you have to create a query for each individual questions. Okay, so for question 31, you need to create a query. So I'm going to select N14 input table and go to create, and I'm going to select query wizard. Right, I'm just going to click OK and move all the available fields over. Okay, because you can pick and choose the fields in your report as well. So as not to confuse you guys, okay, let's just move everything over now. And then I'm going to modify the query design. Now, it says contains a new field called item value, so I'm going to scroll all the way to the end. Alright, and the new field is item underscore value, and I'm going to put it a colon. This means that item underscore value equals to, the colon actually means equals to cost price. Okay, as you can see, cost price already exists, so I'm just going to type in the cost price exactly as I see it here. So cost price, notice the square brackets, right? Okay, it should be the same, multiplied by reorder. Right, so this is what you get. Notice that the item value does not have square brackets because it is a calculated field. It is a field that is calculated at runtime only. So this field actually does not belong to the table. Okay, so save it first, and then let's run to check whether, yeah, okay, so item value is there already. Okay, and has the item value field as currency. So go back to design view. For the format, can select currency here. Okay, now shows only the records where the number of items in stock is less than 10. So stock under criteria here is less than 10. Okay, shows all specified fields and their labels in full. This one would be in the report, fits on a single page wide report as well, has a page orientation of landscape, that is a report as well, sorts the data into ascending order of make. Now the sorting can be done here, or it can be done in the report, it's the same thing. Okay, so sort, ascending order of make. Okay, now we're ready for the report. So I'm going to save this query first. Okay, make sure it's saved, and then I'm going to create, based on the query, a report, right? Report wizard. So because the question does not ask you to pick fields, you need to move all the fields over. Okay, but for this, we don't need the ID field, okay, because it is not required. So let's move it away. It says a page orientation of landscape. Okay. Alright, and let's look at the report. Right, as you can see, the data in the report is actually overlapping. Okay, so we're going to go in and fix it now. Okay, so right click, go into design view. So what you guys need to do is you need to resize everything so that all the data can be seen. Okay, so let's move on to one of the points. It says calculates the value of the whole order and shows this value at the bottom of the item underscore value column. Formats this value as currency, has the label value of order to the left of this value. Basically what it wants you to do is to calculate the total of the item value here. Alright, so how do you do that is you right click on the data field here, go to total, and you say sum. Yeah, you will notice a function appear here at the report footer. It's called equals to sum, and then in the bracket item value. Okay, please do not change that. Right, if you view your report now, say for example in print preview, you will notice that at the bottom of the page, a calculation is made here. Alright, so let's go back there and assign a format value of currency here. Okay, so I'm just going to select the new calculated field here. Alright, I'm going to go to format, and I'm going to change it to currency. Right, decimal places, I'm going to select 2, and then has the label value of order to the left of this value. Okay, so when it asks you to put in a label, alright, please put in a label and not a text box. Okay, a text box is something that connects to the database and it needs a value. So put in a label, right, and is value of order. Right, resize it nicely. Okay, and have a look at it. Right, there you go. Right, it says includes the title order for new mice at the top of the page. So change your report header. Right, order for new mice. Now, one thing you guys need to know is the difference between report header, page footer, and report footer. Alright, now report header, let's say your report has 5 pages, okay? It will appear on the top of the first page of the report only. That is why it's called a report header. The page header will appear at the top of every single page. Alright, so page footer, the same thing, it will appear at the bottom of every single page. Report footer, it will only appear at the bottom of the last page of the report. Now, if the question says, has your name, center number, and candidate number on the left at the bottom of the report, this means that your name, center number, and candidate number has to be in the page footer. Alright, it would make no sense if you put it in the report footer because it will only appear at the last page of the report. Okay, and that is the only page you will get if you sit for the exam. Alright, so page footer, again, put in a label because you do not want it to pull any data from the table. Put in your name, Han, center number MY422, as well as your candidate number. Right, let's preview the report. Right, now when you preview the report, you need to use the print preview. Okay, this shows how it will look like when you print it out. Okay, so scroll to the bottom, you will see that your name, center number, and candidate number appears together with your value of order, which is actually in the report footer. This is the report footer. This is the page footer. Right, now, as for the other fields that you need to resize, I'm going to show you a little bit of it and you have to do it by yourself. Okay, so right click. Let's look at resizing the model field here. Okay, so right click, go to design view. Okay, so just multi-select. Oops. Resize. Okay, resize the model as well. Right, save it. Let's go to print preview again. Right, much better. Alright, so you can move the features and the connection over so that the other data can be seen. Okay, so if it asks you to print a report, what you need to do is you go to File, Print, and go to Print Preview so to make sure that your report is fine. Okay, if it's fine, just click on Print. Now, one of the questions also say, place a screenshot evidence of how you made an automatic calculation of the value of the order in the report you created in step 31 in your evidence document. Okay, this means that it wants you to show that you know how to create the automated calculated field for the item value, okay, which is here. So what you need to do is you need to do a screen capture of this portion of the report and paste it into your evidence document. Alright, so again, I'm going to do a screen capture. Okay, and I'm going to paste it in my evidence document. Alright, so we're done with the first report. Right, moving on to question 34, it says produce a report which contains a new field called retail underscore price, which is calculated at runtime, which is another calculated field. This field will calculate the cost price plus 20%. Is sorted into descending order of retail price, is in label format. Okay, now this time we are not creating a report, but we're creating a label. Okay, same thing, no matter what you want to produce, a report, a label, or an extract, okay, you will still need a query. So let's go back to the table, select the table, okay, not the query, okay, the original table, create, and let's create another query wizard. Alright, let's go to modify the design, query design. Same thing, we're going to scroll all the way to the end. And we are going to create a new calculated field again this time. Okay, retail underscore price equals to, right? Remember the equals is a colon. This field will calculate the cost price plus 20%. This means the cost price plus 20% of the cost price. Okay, so square bracket cost underscore price multiply by 1.2. All right, why 1.2? Because it is 120%. Okay. shows only wireless or dual connected gaming mice. Alright, so let's check out wireless. Oh, so it's under connection, wireless or dual. Okay, so let's go back to design view, under connection. So what you type is literally wireless or dual. Right, wireless and dual. Right, go back to design view to see whether we missed out anything. It's sorted into descending order of retail price. Okay, so sort, descending order. Alright, we're done. So we can use the data here to actually produce the label. Right, remember to save your data. Right, select your query, go to create. Now this time, instead of selecting report wizard, you select labels instead. Okay, now it says it's in label format with 2 labels side by side and 8 labels to the page, right? So what you need to do is you need to select number across 2. You can select any variation you want here, but select the number across 2. Right, next. Don't care about the font size and colors and all that. Click next, and then it will ask you what needs to be shown on the label. Okay, now the question says shows suitable text to identify the fields, right? And it also says shows only the fields make, model, connection, retail price, and notes. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to type the text make, and then select the make. Then after that, model, and select model. Select connect, type in connection, and select connection. Select retail price, and select retail price, notes, and notes as well. Right, next. We have already sorted it in the query, so we don't need to sort it here. Next. And then let's see the labels as they will look printed. Right, so let's see how many labels are there per page. Now you will see that there are only 6 labels, but they want 8, right? So the issue here is that there are empty spaces in between the labels. So again, go to design view, notice the empty space here. Alright, we'll work on that later. But it says include the title mice for gamers at the top of each label. Now because of it says at the top of each label, you need to move the data down and put in a label here. Mice for gamers. And it says has an increased font size for the title mice for gamers. So I'm going to just select the label, go to home and increase the font size, say 16. What? And bold it as well if they want. Okay, has your name, center number, and candidate number at the bottom of each label. Put in another label here at the bottom of each label, so 226969. Okay, let's see whether this helps. So let's resize it a little bit more so that there's empty spaces to fit in another label. Right? Okay, let's save it, and then let's go to the print preview. So 1, 2, 3, still not enough. 1, 2, 3. Let's go back there and adjust it more. Alright, now we have 8 labels per page. Alright, and it says save and print this report. It basically means save and print the label, so just print. Alright, we are done with Microsoft Access.